Well, good day, folks. It is a beautiful day here at the farm, and we got our ice cream pail. We're gonna go off and find some ice cream grass. Yes, we're gonna find some lush green grass somewhere, fill up our bucket, and we're gonna take it over to the brooder and get those meat chickens started on grass before they can actually come out to grass. Technically, they could probably come outside today because it's warm enough, but once they're in that chicken tractor, they're not coming out. So, because we're still getting a little bit cool at nights, we're gonna leave them in the brooder for probably another 10 to 14 days, but we wanna get them digestive wise, get them started on some grass. So let's go have a grass hunt. So this time of year, it's a little bit harder to find some of the lush grass because it's really just starting to turn green, and we don't want to harvest too much of the grass in its premature phase. But there's obviously a few spots, you know, around the yard where it's a little bit greener, a little bit more active. You can kind of see around the whiskey barrels over there, some of the grass is a little bit higher. It's because that acts as a heat sink during the day, and then obviously gets in the ground. It also keeps a little bit of moisture in the area, so the grass grows a little bit more there. So, but we're gonna go and pluck a little bit here, and we're just gonna tear it up. We're not gonna snip it or nothing like that. Get them a bucket and see how they enjoy it. So when you're looking for grass, you really don't have to overcomplicate it. You know, this stuff that's 4 to 6 inches tall, this is just fantastic, right? And you can just tear off 3 inches, and there's still lots of grass there left for photosynthesis, so you're not hurting the grass. Get that torn up, broken off, and then we're gonna go give the chicks their nice little treat here. Everybody's doing pretty good here this morning, so I'm just gonna go ahead and they're probably gonna jump right out of the way, but we'll just toss the first little bit of grass there, a little bit more over there, and some over there. Once they pluck up the courage to get out of the corner there and go check it out, see, there's the odd brave one. Once they come out of the corners and they get a little taste of this, it's going to be a game changer for them. So this grass, well, what is grass? Grass is really just carbon and sunlight. It's really all it is. Grass uses photosynthesis to convert light into carbohydrates, which is pure fuel for the chickens. So I would far rather have our family eat chicken that was raised on sunshine than raised on chemicals. So funny story, I came over into the pig pen here and I'm like, I can't see the pigs. So I came right into the pig pen and I looked in the shelter, and they're usually burrowed down right in that bottom corner there. They got kind of a hole dug out there where they nest in some old sheep wool and some straw and stuff. And they weren't there, and I was like, oh my God, we've lost the pigs. And I mean, they could be anywhere, right? Well, no, they weren't anywhere. They were just nicely snuggled up in behind the pig shelter. So that's a relief. So maybe you're wondering how we get water to our 2 pigs here, because they're just in this pen. There's no power here, there's no water here. Everything's over in the lambing pen beside. So we could either bring it over from there, which would require a little bit of plumbing, or we could bring something down from the house in the way of garden hoses, and that's, as you can see, what's strung over the fence is exactly what we do. So this was a short-term fix. It's turned into more of a a long-term get us through the first season, and it's now been 3 seasons that we've done this. But it's simple, tub and tire. Tub and tire works fantastic. As I mentioned earlier about the heat sink thing, so this tire absorbs heat throughout the entire day, nice and black. And then those early mornings when we get frost, you know, that 5 to 6 a.m., the temperature dips and we get down to that -2, -3 degrees, actually will keep that tub defrosted. So doesn't work at all in the wintertime. Well, I'll tell you that for sure, it does not work at all in the wintertime here. But in the spring, when we're getting frost in the mornings, works fantastic. And yeah, the reason why I did this initially was nothing to do with frost. What it was is I had the original rubber tub over in that corner there, and within 10 minutes the pigs would have it flipped over and they'd be mucking in it and making a mess, wallowing, and it was just a constant chore to try and keep fresh water to them and then keep the pig pen, you know, just, pardon my French, but not a complete shithole. So anyway, this has worked great because they cannot get they cannot get their teeth in there and get this thing pulled out and lifted out, and they definitely can't flip that tire. So this works for them right up until maturity. But obviously, you know, when they reach a maturity in the winter months, then we're down to packing water. We're having to pack water, and that's probably the biggest discouragement for us with the backyard pigs is feeding them out until later in the year. And when you're actually having to pack water multiple times a day, then it becomes work, and you start to look at the grocery store and think, geez, it sure is easy to just go and get that vacuum packed pork from Costco or the IGA or wherever. But for now, we're on easy street for the rest of the summer. So big picture wise, what I wanted to do here was actually do a nipple water in a barrel. So you can get the barrel with the actual screw in lids on them, and one of those lids will have a 3/4 inch tapped plug, and you can tap that out and then put a 3/4 by 1/2 inch bushing, screw that in with the 1/2 inch pig nipple water, and then basically strap it with ratchet straps to a couple of pallets just to get the right elevation. And I was going to do that in the corner and then cut the back end out of it and just put a float style water that you would see in well, you can buy them for like 20 bucks or whatever, PV Mart or UFA, any one of the farm supply stores. Just secure that to the back with, again, with the garden hose, and that would service them all summer. And it wouldn't require me at that point to really manage anything. If you wanted to go away for the weekend or anything like that, they would have a 205 liters, whatever barrel holds, and that would last them all weekend basically. Whereas this now, every day I'm coming over there and adding a little bit of water to it because there's no float in there. So it still requires a little bit of an input. But for now, it's working, you know. Building the barrel thing, it's kind of unproven. I've seen lots of folks do a side tap right through the barrel, and then they got to have a lid on it, and the pigs, they come and they knock it over. So there's obviously some load securement that's got to be done there. And I'm confident that by midsummer I'm going to have that project thought out and built, but I'm just not ready to execute yet today. All right, well, I'm sure you all remember the compost pile that sat right there in the lambing pen here. We've been looking at it for a couple of days. Well, we turned that thing inside out, and it's now right there. Twice as big because it's all fluffed up. Yeah, it's got spirit fingers. No, it's all fluffed up, aerated nice. I did dump some water on it, so it's good and moist and aerated. That's gonna kick off a lot of that microbial activity. It's gonna help generate a lot of heat. And speaking of heat, you can take a look inside here. You can see even how much heat was being generated. You can see by the coloration here, almost like it's ashy in a few spots. You get those white deposits. In fact, I'm touching that, like it's almost hot enough to burn my finger. So it was probably a really good time to get that pile turned before it overheated and killed off a bunch of bacteria. So next weekend I'll come back and we'll turn it all over again. So we are down here at the bottom of the farm by that little dugout, and I'm looking for Miko, our old farm dog. He has gone missing. So Miko's been with us for a lot of years now, and every once in a while he kind of wanders off if there's lightning or thunder, I guess, or if anybody's shooting guns. He gets really scared around loud noises, things like that. And he's blind and he's deaf. So him wandering off is really not conducive to a good situation. I figured I'd come down here because he went missing the other day, and he just randomly showed up back in the yard half an hour later, covered in mud. So I assumed that he just came down here, got himself all muddy, and then wandered back up at the house when he heard me whistling. But down here now, and I don't see him anywhere. I've driven just about every back road in the whole west county of Grand Prairie, and I don't see him. I'm pretty worried about this. The search continues. So it's now 9 o'clock at night, still no sign of the dog. I just got today's eggs. I think I'm gonna run over and check the sheep. Then I'll probably either hop in the pickup or the side-by-side and go for one more run out there. Carmen just come back actually from another run looking for him. But I've got a little bit of daylight left, so I'll get one more run to go look for him. And then after that, it's pretty much just fingers crossed that he finds his way, either finds his way home or finds his way somewhere where he can be safe. And then hopefully wherever he finds himself, they can let us know where he's at and we can go pick him up. But yeah, I mean, you just kind of pray he just comes up over the hill there, or you walk out the back door and he's just sitting there on the back deck. Makes me anxious. So I hopped in the truck. I figured, well, it's almost 10 o'clock now. I'll go for one more rip and see if I can find him before dark. I get down to the end of the road and my phone rings, and it's Carmen. She says, "Where are you at?" I said, "Oh, I'm just to the end of the road. I'm going to take another drive to see if I can go find him." And she said, "Well, Colby and Angela found him." So they're our neighbors, actually Carmen's cousin. They just live down the road over here. And what do you know? Here the mischievous adventurer was down at Township 730. So that's just, well, 2/4 sections down from us. So thankfully he's home safe, a little thirsty, probably a bit hungry and tired from a day's adventures. But he's safe, and that's all that matters. That's better, hey bud? Yeah. Even the kitty cat's happy you're home. Poor old fella. You've had a day, haven't you? Well, I'd say as far as days go, that was a bit of a roller coaster. And I'm not too sad that it's over. So I'm gonna go inside and fix myself up a cup of tea. I hope you have a fantastic evening. We'll see you tomorrow.